Let me know when we streaming. Let me know if it's public. Nice, yeah. It's live now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Is it working?
It says it's live. I'm I'm on here.
Oh wait.
It's a black screen for now though.
Oh, I know why. Is it working now?
We'll see.
No, the intro's fucked up. All right,
Intro's fucked.
should be good now.
It'll come up in a moment. Oh, I can hear the intro. I still. Oh yeah, Bong Toke Productions.
Oh, did it work?
Oh, I see us. We're good. Let's just start rolling now.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning into the live stream, mother suck asses. Uh, and we're gonna start up the motherfucking audio. Oh, you got to give me permission to record. I forget how we fucking did that.
Oh. Easy, easy.
Yeah,
Easy
motherfuck
as
Zoom,
1, 2,
guys.
3, A, B, C.
Baby, you and me, girl. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Rap Drugs Pod.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for tuning in for another motherfucking week of the Rap Drugs Pod. I don't think we've said this at the top of the show enough, so we're going to do it this time. We motherfucking love all you guys for tuning in each week, sharing with your friends, giving us that 5-star on Apple Podcasts. We're back on YouTube, so the likes and the comments, we really appreciate you guys working the algorithm with us. Because we're like, look at what we talk about. Every single word is something Google doesn't want you searching. So we really appreciate you guys fighting against the algorithm for us and sharing, following on IG and Twitter. IGTV might be a week behind, probably going to stay that way just because we want everyone to migrate to YouTube. We want you to get on all the platforms. So when they shut us down somewhere, because we're saying fuck the Lincoln Project and Zuckerberg's like, you can't do my friends like that. Or talking about Jews running the banks and Zuckerberg's again. You can't do my friends like that, or whatever is going on. Maybe Google's going to attack us for talking about how they teamed up with Wuhan for releasing COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty shocking. Their profits like went up like crazy this year, but
You talking
that's
about
just my
Amazon
thought.
or Google?
Talking about all of them. Talking about
All of
every
them.
single tech company that has
Talking about
taken over the military
Silicon
contracts.
Valley Mafia.
Remember in the
I'm talking about the virus industrial complex.
I'm talking about MK Ultra Tech. Like,
MK Ultra
remember
Tech.
in the fucking 60s and 70s when the Nazis were all working for the government? And
Yeah.
the military had all these fucking cool projects.
Yeah.
And then remember
Alien
in
tech.
the 80s when all of a sudden there was like, we're like Reagan
Crack.
and Nixon fuck shit up, brought in crack. And yeah, basically every single contract every single thing the government and the military did, they like realized like, oh, this is going to look bad when people realize what we're doing. Let's just outsource it all to Jeff Epstein and Google and Facebook and whatever
Mostly
other thing
Jeff
they
Epstein.
put a backdoor on. Yeah. But yeah, mostly Jeff Epstein because the FBI is cool like that. But yeah, man. Before we get into the jujits, because I got a boner for that stuff lately. I just gotta say it's so crazy, the whole FBI shit that they're trying to ban end-to-end encryption and the shit they're saying, and the fact that they've got people on their side, potentially bots, mind you. I know Twitter's just a bot farm.
I don't know anything what you're talking about.
So Tim Dillon retweeted this fire tweet by Eric Weinstein. So FBI says during a congressional hearing this week, FBI Director Christopher Wray discussed how end-to-end encryption threatens the FBI's mission to protect the American people from federal crimes, including crimes against children, cyber attacks, and terrorism. So we if you've been following the pod, again, we love you. The rest of you fucking degenerates, you better hit subscribe before if you want some fucking love. But Save the Children, episode 25. Like, it's all a fucking joke for the government to get you dummies with QAnon, like, that drank too much Kool-Aid, because I know QAnon's onto some real shit too. You dummies who drank too much Kool-Aid and are like, oh, save the children. You guys are actually promoting the FBI infiltrating your brain and brainwashing and being able to pass these cyber laws that take away your rights and freedoms.
Yeah, says you.
I mean, you can agree to disagree. Maybe Eric Weinstein's a shill. But
yeah,
what would you say to the same needs in reverse? I, for example, want to know if Jeff Epstein had ties to the U.S. intelligence community and has some measure of immunity to operate as a pedophile and trafficker. So this is Eric Weinstein starting a thread.
Yeah.
Question: Was his Florida arrest what you call a blue on blue screw up? I want to know if I am risking my life by repeatedly asking why no national news organization asked you on the obvious, direct, on the record questions about his financial records or ties to the intelligence communities, including the FBI. Am I? Do our sources and methods permit a blind eye to child sex trafficking by foreign controlled agents? Does the FBI work with tech platforms to control the reach of citizens who ask these questions to you that the New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, and NPR conspicuously will not? Do you have the financial records and filings of Jeff Epstein's supposed hedge fund offices at Villiard House? If not, why not? If so, was there a foreign currency trading fund? Can the FBI be trusted with end-to-end encryption if it will not answer these questions? And then Eric Weinstein adds a note to the thread. There is no way in hell any account of this size taking this crazy risk to ask direct questions to the FBI about intelligence, about Jeff Epstein and engaging with the intelligence community has this low of engagement numbers without interference from Twitter. At Jack, can you hear me? And then the last thing, please quote cheat the top tweet in thread to counteract downranking by Twitter. We need these questions asked by our news media. Make this a story. Force them to simply do their job on what could be the biggest story ever of the decade. So the original tweet has 5,700 likes and 2,800 retweets. And I got a notification from Tim Dillon saying this thread is fire with some emojis. And let me see how much action that has.
Yeah, well, I feel like, they're blowing this out of proportion. I mean,
2,800 likes.
It's the FBI, Like,
but
can't we trust the FBI?
Obviously, there's no way you can trust anyone to stop this end-to-end encryption stuff. It's like literally the only private thing, unless you're like loading onto the Tor and going through VPNs. Like, if you understand what I just said.
Yeah.
So,
which I didn't.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're not like, you can't anonymize your IP at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So end-to-end encryption is necessary for privacy. Like the same way the judges have to like sign off on a warrant in order for you to actually wiretap me.
No, this is like being like people shouldn't have locks on their doors because like what if we need to go in there and
I'm not saying people shouldn't have locks on their doors, but maybe they should all give us a key.
Yeah.
We're not asking for a back door, but if you could put a door in the back, that'd be great. Like a doggy door that's big enough to fit a human. Like only we'll come through it. We'll come protect you if someone else comes through it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fucking right. Fucking right, doggies.
It's insane.
It's insane, but save the children. I'm down for it. That's because there's no other way to pedophile children. Like you can't just buy a burner computer or cell phone and sit in a Starbucks that's like hours from your home. Like what? Like and encryption doesn't make anyone safer or more traceable.
No. Makes you less safe. That's what they want. They want you to be less safe.
Yeah.
Let's be real
exactly.
here.
They want to be able to attack you, and they also want to open it up so the Russians and Chinese can attack you, because that's what New World Order's always been about. Like, they sell weapons to other countries. They don't just create weapons and keep them and give them to the police to shoot black people. Like, this is they do that too, but they make so many fucking weapons, they also have to sell them around the world. How do you think Prince Andrew made all this money?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just fucking kids for Epstein. Like, he paid a lot of money to do that.
Yeah.
Like, these fucking kids is fucking expensive. Jeez.
Yeah.
Have you seen the prices on Wayfair? But yeah, it's just mind-boggling. It makes me need to learn jujitsu. That's for sure.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That's why you want to learn jiu-jitsu, Jason, so you can beat up Prince Andrew and stop him from pedophiling kids.
I want to make sure, like, if I ever have kids, no one's able to fucking put them into sex trafficking without me get some jiu-jitsu on them. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I'd fucking flying arm triangle that fucking bald ass head.
Yeah, that's true. You know.
Yeah. But
I'd love to learn some jiu-jitsu too, but you know, I'm not a fucking Joe Rogan butt sniffer like you.
I've actually given up on the JRE, Todd. Like,
sure,
the
only reason you want to learn jiu-jitsu is so you can have a three-way with Eddie Bravo and Joe Rogan.
That would be pretty hot and steamy.
Yeah.
And like, I guess I'd let Joe in on it, but like, more or less, I just want Eddie Bravo on me. Like, I would not be like, Joe can get it from us, but I'm not sucking his dick or taking it in the butt. Eddie Bravo, he can do whatever he wants to me for free. But I don't have a choice until I get like my black belt and a couple more stripes than Joe. So
fair.
So like, yes, I am learning jujitsu because of Joe Rogan, but it's not a fanboy thing. It's like I want to make sure this CIA asset can't fucking put a bug into my microchip my prostate.
What we are all afraid
Fuck my Neuralink hole.
Our biggest fears.
Yeah. But also, I've realized if I want to get Neuralink, I have to put myself at the front of the line.
I need to stand out in the crowd.
Yeah. But dude, it would be hella sick if you got some jiu-jitsu training, because I don't know how much boxing you've had, but it's definitely more than I had taekwondo. And taekwondo is nonsense also. It's bogus.
Yeah.
Like, give me some Kempo karate or real fucking striking.
Yeah.
I'm just hard into the MMA lately, if you haven't noticed from some of the past eps. And UFC last night was especially crazy with
was it, Jason? How
Peter
crazy
Yan?
did it get?
Peter Yan need Aljamain Sterling, one of the best bantamweight jiu-jitsu practitioners in the UFC, need him in the face when he was down.
That's not cool.
And got disqualified and lost his belt to him.
Good.
Yeah. So it was fair punishment. Some would argue it's not fair punishment. You should be able to knee a grounded appointment. Aljo was fatigued and fucking downing himself on purpose. Well, that's other people are saying Fake Master.
Yeah.
His nickname's Funk Master. They're calling him Fake Master now.
Fake.
Like TJ Dillashaw and Cejudo.
Now there's got to be a rematch.
No, a doctor stopped the fight.
Fake doctor.
But
who is the doctor?
A real doctor.
Show.
So yeah, but the ref wanted
Big Show came out in the lab.
The ref wanted it stopped. It kind of looked like the Big Show, but if he got shot off at the kneecaps, like he was about as wide and heavy as the Big Show, but he wasn't as tall.
Yeah, he came in and was like, "I used to wrestle, but until I got shot off at the kneecaps."
But yeah, so Aljo was just pouring it on.
Oh yeah.
For the first three rounds. Peter Yan was showing heavy defense. Two judges had the first After 3 rounds, 2 judges said Peter Yan won. 1 judge said Aljamain Sterling won. If the fight went on, Peter Yan would have got a 2-point deduction, and there's no way he could have won without ending the fight.
Yeah.
So instead, he was people are calling out Aljamain because he was gassing himself, like he was fatigued as all shit, and couldn't crack Peter Yan, like couldn't pick the lock. That Peter Yan had solid defense, was getting him in the grappling, wasn't falling for his wrestling tricks. It was like a really good show, but it was a crazy ending. Just stopped like that. Belt gave into Aljamain, like you said. Instant rematch coming up. Aljamain, people are, it might be fake master, might not be. If he is, smart ass dude, because he's gonna have to prove himself and keep the belt, because Peter Yan is gonna get the instant rematch. Although I would argue that this is a big enough disqualification that he deserves more punishment than just losing the belt. Like, he should have to fight a contender to get back to that belt fight now.
What contender?
Because TJ Dillashaw, I think. So TJ Dillashaw, he did EPO.
But then what if he won? Should he get the belt then?
Yeah, so he had the belt and lost it because of he was doing EPO. Which is like a...
Is that like a sexual thing?
It's a hormone to like cover up that you're doing other steroids.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
he got popped for EPO and lost the belt. Peter Yan got the vacant belt. So I think
he should have won. You know, he was just using the advantages he had in front of him.
Well, that's the problem. If you fuck up your own cycle, that's your fault, and you kind of do deserve to lose. Like, you're not as it's like cutting weight. If you can't, exactly, it's just like cutting weight and having the proper diet. If you can cycle the drugs and not get caught, more power to you. If you can't, well, you deserve to have a tarnished record like John Jones. But what was I fucking saying? Anyways, so yeah, I think Peter Yan and Dillashaw should fight. 2 cheaters fight each other. Because when you get disqualified, you don't get any financial punishment other than that you don't get the purse. You don't get the win purse, which you might not have got anyways because of the points if the fight went the full 5 rounds. And you probably would have lost the belt anyways. And would that have been an instant rematch? Like, yes. But
no.
Also possibly no, exactly. And I think these 2 cheaters should have to fight each other, and Peter Yan deserves a bigger financial penalty. Like, if you get caught with cannabis, if you get caught with roids, if you get caught with hormones, you get a huge financial penalty and years out, suspension. Yeah. Look at Nick Diaz. Like, he lost millions of dollars and years of fighting because of cannabis, which is now okay to smoke in the UFC. So that's why I think there should be a bigger penalty. And that's also why I got to learn jiu-jitsu, because like I mean, you're not going to win off a knee to the face, but if you ever want to like not get beat up by a Russian in a parking lot in like 2030, whenever we go to cyberpunk era, like you're going to need some skills.
Yeah.
When the Chinese and the Russians like who have all these martial arts skills and wrestling, boxing skills,
you got to be able to backflip your way out of this.
Exactly. Because like we're it's kind of like a nuke thing. Like, we can use our nukes, yes. You can have a gun and shoot at someone, yes. But wouldn't you rather get into the hand-to-hand combat if you run into bullets?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing, man.
It's always what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I've seen.
I'm gonna learn how to fight with a sword.
Yeah, and I've seen Liam Neeson in Taken.
Samurai lessons.
Yeah, and like I know the FBI isn't going to save the children. So if I want to save my own children, this is very necessary in the world I see in the future. Yeah. Like plus, if everyone dies from like a nuke, it would be cool to like be the only guy who knows jiu-jitsu and then like make a lot of money training people.
Yeah.
And also, we've got to get ready for our MMA match against each other. Like,
that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe I should learn other fighting styles.
Like,
I'm gonna learn crane style.
Nice. Yeah, I'm thinking Muay Thai, because that's also at the Etobicoke Martial Arts 10th Planet Etobicoke, which
Yeah.
I'm getting into the Eddie Bravo system, like for the jiu-jitsu, the
I'm
no
just
gi.
gonna fight dirty. Just
Yeah.
gonna
So
study McGregor, Conor McGregor's.
nice. Outside the ring. Gonna do exactly what that old man
Yeah.
did against him. Get him drunk. That's like Chinese tactics though too. Like blow fucking psychedelics into their fucking nostrils and put
Yeah.
LSD tabs in their ears, leave them for an hour, give them tea filled with psychedelics, and then just like
Set their
let them
feet on
kill their own
fire.
family. Whisper in their ear how they're like their family's out to get them and like shit like that. Then you just have one guy to kill, like after he takes care of the fucking rest of the village for you. But at the same time,
Exactly.
there's less people to rape and pillage if you let that happen. So like,
Which is always depressing.
yeah, so maybe get him to just do the males, like be like, oh yeah, all these guys have been fucking your wife, and like you just get him to kill his own wife and all the other guys. So like, there's all the other wives available for you.
Yeah. You put too much thought into this, Jay. You're a sick
Yeah,
dog. You're a
I'm
sick puppy.
it's
Jason
just
wants to be a warlord, an African warlord.
I've just been reading up on the
Can't wait for Canada to just
Uyghurs
go
though.
into the Uyghurs.
I'm
Can't
getting
wait for
scared.
Canada to just go like fucking completely disarray so you can be a Rocky Mountain fucking
Yeah,
bandit.
if China ever like
Rocky Mountain warlord where you just launch
the
mountains down from the caves.
well, the CCP is using their people to slowly buy up all the property they can in Canada and launder money.
Oh yeah.
But because yeah, they already own everything in their own country, so why not send people that are friends of the state out into the world to buy up real estate and
Other states.
run prices up and kind of fuck with the whole world economy? But I don't know, maybe it's a team effort from the elites, which would also make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Conspiracy on all fronts.
yeah. So, but anyways, like if you think about it that way, like it's just going to be a matter of time before like China gets more pissed off at Canada than they already are for talking about human rights issues with the Uyghur genocide and
Uighurs.
saying let our people that didn't do anything free about the Michael Sporvig and the other Michael that are locked up for over 2 years now and probably dead if we don't have evidence they're alive. So yeah, like I just think it's a matter of time before China's calling the shots, and they already are because Justin Trudeau refused to vote on the fucking human rights genocide.
I think
thing.
it's a
like
matter of time before they just fall apart.
Yeah,
I think any day now, Taiwan's just gonna invade China.
we can only hope, but I think it's much more likely the American empire is falling, or the British Empire, sorry.
Yeah,
is falling
you
apart
just feel like that because
China's
you're in
taken
it,
over.
you know.
Maybe that's true. Maybe that's. Oh yeah, the news does that to you. Hey,
Yeah,
Adam Curtis is fucking clever.
I think America's more powerful than ever.
That's so true. The British Empire, you mean, is more powerful than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you don't agree with that
the,
America is separate, but
it's the Franco-Anglo alliance.
yeah,
Really.
well, Israeli
like everyone
alliance.
always forget. Yeah, and the Israelis. Yeah, you forget about the Israelis.
Everyone always forgets.
But I feel like they're still, they're number 4. I feel like everyone forgets about the French. They're always doing sketchy shit, man. I don't trust the French one bit.
Even the Swiss, they just voted to outlaw facial coverings in a burqa ban poll, and Al Jazeera says only about 30 women in Switzerland wear a niqab. There's like less than 36 people.
Yeah, but that's just literal European racism, not like global domination.
Oh yeah, if it was the Dutch, it would have been like 100% voted to ban it. Like you gotta. It's so true how racist and crazy those people are, but it's just government politics. Like they're trying to control people or get like a group think or say like, oh, there's Iranian sleeper cells in our government that know English.
the Uyghurs, man, they take it to a whole another level. They're fucking like taking people from their kids and like forcing them to go to these schools where they gotta learn Chinese, and you're not allowed to learn like Uyghurs. There's like Uyghur Muslims, and then there's like Hawaii Muslims, which are like Chinese Muslims. There's
Yeah,
they're the Hawaiis are recognized Chinese people, even though they're
exactly.
also just like local to the region. But then the Uyghurs are more Turkish, or like
Yeah,
more like the other Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and stuff. So they're just like trying to replace them basically with recognized Chinese populations.
yeah, exactly. They're just of Turkish descent, kind of like the Armenians, potentially like Jewish even. We don't know, but probably. They all seem to look very similar to me. Versus Mongolian. If you're not of Mongolian descent, like the rest
Yeah,
of the Chinese Empire, you're going down, and that's why they're so racist to people with dark skin. Like
yeah,
it's like a thing that the U.S. government has tried to drill into people's brains forever as well. Like it's just part of New World Order.
yeah. Look the
Like
same, talk the same, think the same.
exactly. And how do we know Britain doesn't still control China like they did during the opium days? Like a lot of shady shit going on there, and Adam Curtis was really pumping them up during his documentary uh, the, on the BBC. But yeah, like you're saying, they're uh, Turkish Muslim descent people that are in an autonomous state. Uh,
Yeah,
Xinjiang.
yeah. Xing Xing.
Yeah,
It's like a
exactly.
mountain desert place. It's desert in like the southern part and like mountains in the northern or something.
Yeah.
It's just
And this
like
has been a
place
exactly. And this has been a kind of a thing since 1930s.
forever. Before
Since
that,
before. No. Well, yeah, before that, but like it became like a kind
we
of government controlled thing in the 1930s
yeah,
30s where it was like Russia and USSR versus China.
yeah,
Like cuz Russia props up all the Turk stuff too. Like
yeah. Well, they owned the Turk area
yeah,
for a while
as we
there.
see in
They
the
loved the
Syria, and
Turks.
that's why like the Syrian war is such a confusion and obvious tie between America and US. I mean, US and China. Like, what? Well, you guys are trying to take over Turkish territory from Russia, and US never does anything when China says this is our place. So it's kind of pretty obvious whose side is on whose, and that there's potentially a false narrative of China versus the US in order to like oh, convince us it's not a thing because like it's just crazy that China has a lot of US debt and China has a lot of oil in fucking storage and everything is made in China. Like there's been this partnership that is kind of not spoken about until Trump became in power and put in more tariffs, and at the same time the CIA is part of the government, like your two top right hand men, and one of them is even like
So,
trained in
so what do you
Chinese
think?
studies.
China's running the government?
No, well, yeah, that's very obvious for the like Mitch McConnell is also married to someone in the CCP
A
state.
Chinese
Like,
person? You're
I'm not
saying?
saying no.
You're
I'm saying
racist.
it's a mutual
You think because Mitch
agreement.
McConnell's married to a Chinese
No,
person,
I said that's
he works for China? He's Chinese spy.
he's
He's
no,
a
he's an ally.
Manchurian candidate.
Yes, he's a Manchurian candidate. He's an ally. He probably
His
isn't
wife
sending
is
information back
CCP.
to China. Yeah, she's his wife is military family, so CCP.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
intense.
yeah,
Man,
and
that's
yeah,
it. Same
and
government. Same
and
government.
Pompeo and Bill Barr were both like one of them had a
CIA.
degree in China studies, and they were both CIA,
Oh
and
yeah.
they were the loudest ones against China. And like, so I think a lot of this stuff was nonsense. And the fact that when Biden gets in, we don't hear a peep about China, and now they're bombing Syria again. Like,
So what do
what?
you think? I don't. What do you think the goal and stuff? I don't understand. Don't see the connections here.
There's a Chinese U.S. alliance
To do what?
potentially to protect property from Russian control,
You
and
think
there's
so?
also a Chinese Russian alliance though to protect property from British control and American control. It's very strange because like Australia's getting picked on by China right now, and no one's sticking up for them. also. Like
Yeah.
it's it's
What
just so
makes you think
weird.
no one's sticking up for him?
Maybe they are. Like if
We
maybe geopolitics really are this
have
thing that happens
have you
like
heard
House of
about
Cards.
Kanzik? I don't know if I've talked about this before.
No, what's Kanzik?
It is kind of this will be a this will be big news in Canada once the next election starts rolling around. But basically, it's like
Yeah.
this idea of like creating like an EU between Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and Britain, and it's like a plan to get all of us to like be anti China. They want to try and funnel trade like that way instead of everyone trading with China all the time.
True. Very interesting.
And the governments, everyone's down except for us. Trudeau doesn't want to do it, I don't think. And
Yeah.
the Conservative Party, the guy who just won the Conservative Party leadership, his main, it's gonna be his like main platform. He said he's like really for it, apparently.
That's mind blowing.
So he's talking about yeah, and so like right now Australia and New Zealand they have what's called an agreement where like you can travel between Australia and New Zealand without a passport or anything. I think as long as you don't have a criminal record, like you can travel between easily.
Yeah.
And so they want to expand that to Canada and Britain, and then try and bring it like closer to economic ties. They haven't decided exactly how close they want to bring it, but they do want to do something. They've been talking about it. The main thing is to combat China, because everyone's kind of worried. Like the three of us are, and like Britain, I think just wants to get some of its power back, but who
Yeah.
knows what's going on there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing too is like who knows? Cuz I love all this shit and I'm like hard into like the China
You
stuff.
you want to hear another interesting thing? I didn't
Yeah.
realize how like we support Hong Kong hardcore. I guess like because
Yeah.
we apparently helped fight for Hong Kong's independence during one of the world wars, and we have more people living in Hong Kong, Canadians living in Hong Kong, than they do live here on PEI. It's I get so,
Oh
I guess
wow.
some people refer to it as like our 11th province. I forgot how many provinces we are.
Yeah, we have 10 provinces and 3 territories.
Yeah, they refer to it as our 11th province.
Nice. That's funny. And
Yeah,
not actually that surprising again with the whole British connection, like
yeah,
it
yeah,
being owned by
exactly.
Britain and everything. But yeah, that's the one thing I think people. It's like I'm obviously saying a bunch of bullshit that is has little to no evidence other than anecdotal, objective. But how do we know this? The lines they're feeding us are all real because we know there's also been a lot of propaganda put out through the media over all these years, like PSAs against drugs. When Dr. Carl Hart's like
Yeah,
proving that a neuropharmacologist has science-based evidence to prove it's false. It's the same way we knew cigarettes were
yeah, and
bad.
the writing smear articles about
Yeah,
him.
exactly, exactly. It's mind blowing that people don't think propaganda is a thing, or like don't realize like
Don't realize when
every
it is
single thing I'm
propaganda.
reading is some sort of either capitalist motivated thing or
Yeah,
communist motivated thing. Like there's no one who's just writing journalism to be the best journalism anymore. They're making documentaries nowadays. And even that half that shit's tainted.
yeah,
Like yeah, and cuz yeah, there is good journalism out there, but it's few and far between and it just gets
yeah,
worse and
and
worse.
it seems like like even when someone's a good journalist, they'll just like go off the deep end all of a sudden. It's like it's just there's just so much crap out there that just flies at you. It's like it's hard to stay on point. It's hard
Yeah,
to stay on
exactly.
top of it.
But yeah, in the Uyghur conflict, which is something that's like we said, been going on forever, has only became big news in the recent years, but it's basically like genocide.
Genocide.
And
Yeah,
there's no other thing to call it other than
that's the word.
genocide the same way like you were saying earlier, Todd, like we did to
The natives.
North Americans. Yeah.
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 Native
And
Americans.
yeah, I call them North Americans because I think there's also like we don't call them Mexicans Native Americans, but they're all American. Like most of them
They're
are from
not
Spain.
native.
A
I
lot of
don't
them
know.
are. Yeah.
I think they're like,
They
yeah, I think the Spanish just like mixed well, or I don't
yeah,
know what you say.
exactly the same way they did in Canada, like the Métis.
Yeah, that's why they are like natives,
Yeah.
but we aren't.
Meanwhile, the
They
U.S. was just like we're just gonna
the
fuck each other and fuck
yeah
shit up.
yeah I don't know. We're white people. We're Anglos. We're the
Yeah.
Anglo Saxons.
Yeah. Well, that's most of Central and Eastern Canada, but once you get into Western Canada, there's a lot of Métis, and
Yeah,
even in the Appalachians, the Northern Appalachians, Canada. I forget what the fuck the people are called that are French and Micmacs. They all get together, but not
yeah. I
enough.
don't know.
There is also good separation
I'm
there.
not sure.
It's not nothing like out east, but yeah,
Ever since I've learned what happened, I've been trying to get a boat so I could get back to Ireland.
yeah,
I'm
nice.
sorry.
There's also intense, but yeah, there's to this day there's still intense racism. It's just
Yeah.
like in China where there's an intense racism against.
Well, I mean, maybe they shouldn't have put their houses on top of our land and
Yeah,
lived here.
exactly,
I mean,
exactly. It at the end of the day, it's like wrong place, wrong time. Like
at the end of the day, we are allowing
you
them to
should have
live
never.
in swamps.
You should have
They're
never.
lucky they got that.
Like here's the other thing too is the whole like narrative like oh yeah people cross land bridges to get to uh Canada and America and be that's how the natives got here. Like that's just justification for us killing them when it's very well there could have been a Pangea and these people could have fucking been here the whole time. Well, the
Whoa,
Earth
Jason,
slowly
you're getting
separated.
pretty intense here with your theories.
Well,
All
dude,
right,
the land bridge is a theory. It's
your
proven though.
theories here.
It's proven. It's just like the
Yeah.
Mongolians. But COVID was released in a lab, or was that's also a theory. Masks make you sicker. That's another theory. So like, yeah, I'm talking some crazy ass shit.
I don't know, man.
But I'm saying
Look,
like,
here it's my
oh,
opinion that look, before like the 1900s, if you got your shit taken from you and you couldn't defend it, it's your bad. All right?
yeah,
We worked it out after that. We came up with the League of Legends. You can work you know the is that what it was called? Not the League of Legends, the League of Nations. Sorry.
League of Nations,
League of
exactly.
Nations. If you didn't get in on that, and you're not in on the UN, you're not a nation, and you should just shut the fuck up. That's my opinion.
Easily,
What do you
easily.
think, Jay?
I just think it's all a bunch of nonsense.
Do
No matter, I'm still on the
are
same theory.
are you for free Quebec? Free
Yeah,
Quebecois? I think they should
yeah.
become their own country.
I mean, even that's nonsense. Like, who cares? You're still paying tax
The
to the
French people,
government.
the
I mean,
French people,
they
uh,
get
uh,
treated better than any
a
other
big,
province.
a big,
Like, it's a good
yeah.
way to kind of flex your muscle and get treated better.
They want to get treated even better.
Yeah,
It's not good enough
exactly.
still.
But I'm just like, people like I even think this like I'm like back in the day there was never tithings before religion, like
There was never what?
tithings before religion. You were a peasant
I
for
don't know
like
what that
royalty.
word means.
Tithings is like giving away 10% of your money to the church.
Oh, okay.
So like most people always had to just give their money to their family and their family had to give it to a king, and then it was religion, and now it's the government.
Yeah.
And the government is doing all this charity stuff like giving relief to other countries and paying Red Cross and like so
Yeah,
like
fuck those guys.
at the end of the day if you're giving
Hmm.
more money to charity you're just helping the elites out more.
Yeah.
So like if you're listening to this fucking
Unless you get good tax breaks.
yeah well then yeah exactly then you're helping decide which elites you're giving money to.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, do you want it to go through the
Yeah, that's why I
political
give
elite
my
or the
money
nonprofit elite?
directly to drug addicts and homeless people.
Yeah,
You gotta help them
exactly.
out. See if you stimulate the economy by giving it to broke people, then prices go down.
Yeah, exactly. If you send your money to paypal.me/rapdrugs, you'll help a homeless man get a bunch of money,
Yeah.
and they can't buy a house, but they can stimulate the economy in other ways.
Yeah.
And we don't want the money going through the fucking banks, do we?
Yeah.
Do we
Really.
want the banks? I mean, I don't know
Knowing
who's
what's
running the
going on
banks.
here. Yeah.
Like it's
We gotta get the
basically
money out of circulation. All right, that's the
basically
goal.
the whole bank thing also is another Operation Mindfuck where they're like, oh yeah, it's the Jews that run the banks, not the royal families, not the rich families of the world. It's all the blame the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Don't blame the fucking Windsor family of fucking Britain. Don't blame the fucking royal Saudi princes. Don't blame all the ones with all the money that they're loaning to the rest of us.
Yeah.
Blame the Jews. That like just like Hitler did.
Yeah.
See, and that's this Operation Mindfuck stuff. And then they send that out there, and now if you like are one of the people blaming the Jews, the FBI can scoop you up and throw you in a van, and you go to Guam.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of these, like,
It's crazy.
yeah, a lot of these conspiracy theories are probably created by intelligence communities.
All of them.
Yeah, if not all of them. And that's why it's so tough to just like
Yeah, I know.
live in
Wouldn't that be
today's
sweet to have
society.
that job?
Yeah, that would be like that would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine you worked with Joe Rogan and Jeff Epstein and
You were just like,
Duncan Trussell all day.
yeah.
You're just like, what propaganda can I help pump up today?
Yeah.
But no, that's why I actually love Duncan Trussell's comedy.
Because he's a FBI agent.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's he's so hilarious though. He's just always
Yeah.
like he goes too hard on QAnon,
Does he?
but because he's got him try to make it obvious he's a joke. But maybe he is down with
Maybe
the
he's
QAnon,
just in
which
it.
would be cool.
In
That
on
would be
it.
cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. But like he's always doing like these fake conspiracies, like the LA is cold right now thing when it was like scorching hot and the wildfires were happening. He was putting like his coat on and a toque on and being like, "Don't let the news fool you. It's freezing cold."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then other comedians were doing it too with him.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was some hilarious ass shit. And that's basically what I feel like is going on with the Uyghur Muslims. They're they're create these terrorist groups and extremist groups have been normalized. So like we think, oh, Turk's bad. Just the same
Yeah.
way the Chinese think Turk's bad.
Yeah. They are.
Like, and that all, yeah, exactly. And all that happened when, like, I don't know. It's just there's a partnership somewhere between the CCP
If you say so.
and the elites, the Bush family, the Clinton families, like the Biden family potentially.
Yeah. They're all half Chinese.
Yeah, and if they're not, they're marrying in like Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're like that's why
Mitch McConnell.
Justin Trudeau won't agree that the Uyghur genocide exists or won't vote on it. He uses his right to pass.
Yeah.
But yes, since we're going hard on conspiracies, I was gonna get into like the
Were we?
NFTs and non-fungible tokens. Well, I was. You're kind of trying to talk me off a ledge, and I'm
Yeah.
like not even listening.
Yeah. Neither was
I'm
I.
like, I've got the tinfoil hat on full alert. It's like it's bringing in
Yeah.
all the weight. But yeah, this is a news article from CNBC. About 60% of nursing home staff decline COVID vaccines, Walgreens exec says. About 60% of employees and 20% of residents decline COVID vaccine, says Rick Gates, Walgreens Senior Vice President of Pharmacy and Healthcare. The decline shots indicate another challenge the country will face. Gates said he expects vaccines to be more widely available at Walgreens in late March or April.
Sounds
So maybe
suspicious.
this is just a pump up piece to like let you know Walgreens is open for vaccines and because no one else wants to go there. But we were seeing vaccine hesitancy, particularly among those that work in these facilities. That was higher than we expected, he said at CNBC's Health Returns virtual event Tuesday. Maybe a lot of them are pregnant because you're not supposed to take the vaccine if you're pregnant.
Oh.
The declined vaccines indicate another challenge the country will face: persuading the majority of Americans to get the life saving vaccine, which will help protect the broader public and allow the economy to gradually return to some degree of normalcy.
How normal.
Gates, yeah, exactly. Gates said excess vaccine doses from long term care facilities were ultimately returned to the states or given to high priority people. So basically, yeah, it was a pump up piece to say that Walgreens has a lot of vaccines.
And they're giving it to the Jews first. High priority people.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. I'm like, everyone in Tel Aviv or Israel gets a vaccine. They're already running the vaccine passports.
Yeah, what's with that?
It's pretty cool.
Well, we don't want them getting genocided, you know. In case this was a biological attack, we gotta make sure that they would get them first.
Exactly. It's just a like. They're like, it's like falls back to like next is the Uyghur Muslims. Like
Yeah.
they're all getting it next. They're all getting they probably already all got the Chinese version of the vaccine. And the Israelites just got the American version.
Did you see that there was like a huge problem with like fake vaccines being sold in China?
No, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Like, good way to make a buck.
Yeah.
No, I just heard about that early on happening in the U.S. where like all those preachers were like, we can cure you.
Just kidding.
What prices went through the roof?
Saline.
The saline solution.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's another article I got. Mushrooms and placebo work the same for some people.
They should.
That's some big news last week. Like microdosing mushrooms. So here's what it said.
And not microdosing mushrooms work the same.
Traces of psychedelics make you feel good, but so does placebo, finds unusual self-blinding study. Not that unusual. People know drugs don't have real effects. People just are mental. It's like meditation. Meditation works because placebos work. Meditation and medication work the same. Except for like cancer.
Except for large
Don't be
doses.
Steve Jobs. People who take time, except for large doses, good point. But it also does work the same also for large doses. If you really know how to
get
meditate,
a large dose
hardcore.
of meditation.
Yeah. If you get a macro enough meditation dose. So yeah, people who take tiny amounts of LSD, magic mushrooms, and related drugs report a range of benefits from creative to improve psychological well-being. But do these microdoses, typically less than 10% of the amount that causes a true psychedelic experience, actually benefit the mind? That's been a hard question to answer. But no is the answer. That's why it's hard to answer. People don't want to say no. These drug dealers don't want to say no because they got all these patents, but it's no. Placebo-controlled trials are tricky to pull off because psychedelics are so tightly regulated. Until now. Researchers have come up with a creative workaround. Enlisted microdosing enthusiasts to hide their drugs in gel capsules and mix them up with empty capsules. The upshot of this self-binding study, microdosing, did lead to improvements in psychological well-being.
Oh yeah.
But so did the placebo capsules. The benefits are real, says lead author Balas Zaghetti, a neuroscientist at Imperial College London.
Sounds like
but they are not caused by the pharmacological effects of microdosing. The findings, however, are the least interesting thing about the study. Says Noah Harbour, a study design specialist at Stanford.
Yeah.
Very, very clever method of self-binding pushes the boundaries of what can be investigated using randomized placebo controls, he says. So basically, people join a cult because placebos work. That's what he's saying. Getting the new study off the ground, people believe anything.
Yeah.
Wasn't easy. Obtaining ethical approval to psychedelic taking volunteers was a long and difficult process, Saghetti says.
Yeah, I'm going to start a cult.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
And
good idea.
yeah, exactly. All the people I sell drugs to, I'm gonna just convince them to join my cult and get them to like. I'm gonna MLM that. Like, if they get people to join the cult, they get the money for them joining the cult.
It's like a pyramid scheme cult.
Yeah, that's all cults. Except usually it's just like one guy's getting all the money.
Yeah.
Like, except yeah, I'm not. I don't want a capitalist based one. I want a not for profit. That's what makes it a cult. But getting the new study off the ground wasn't instead of Herbalife. But yeah, obtaining ethical approval to enroll psychedelic taking volunteers was a long and difficult process. What is ethical approval? Like, it was tough to decide to do it, but eventually we just decided we were going to do it. And then he had to go out and find those volunteers, like a bunch of dirty hippies, fucking probably giving other people placebo instead of the drugs they wanted to buy. You shouldn't feel bad about giving them placebo. Like, they just gave someone a bunch of CBD instead of weed.
Yeah.
Because they knew they're not a stoner. But yeah, there were also hiccups in the self-binding procedure. To ensure that pills felt the same, study participants who used psilocybin weighted their placebo capsules with substances like sugar, for example. Still, Getty says mushroomy burps made it easy for the participants to guess when they'd taken actual mushrooms. After having to discard some data, and his colleagues asked the volunteers to make placebo capsules with a non-psychedelic mushroom instead. So it's possible mushrooms just do this, and it doesn't have to be psychedelic.
Makes sense.
Which Paul Stamets would probably argue makes sense, yeah. But even after all this, study participants, especially those taking higher doses, were still sometimes able to guess whether they had taken a placebo. This is a good thing. Like, the fact that in other pharmacological studies they don't know is a terrible thing. Like, those drugs should never get passed by the FDA.
But they do.
Yeah, the scientists could track this because volunteers reported their guess after every dose. Some reported sensations like digestive issues, muscle tingling, and seeing colors differently as reasons for their guesses. Although that meant the self-binding was not bulletproof, the reporting had the advantage of giving researchers another check on whether supposed benefits of microdosing tracked with people's expectations. Overall, they found that people who thought they had taken psychedelics felt greater well-being and lower anxiety than those who thought they had taken placebo, regardless of what they actually took. The results echo the finding in the handful of very small placebo-controlled studies, says John Hopkins, who was not involved with that work. The new study was much larger and had more long-term observations, he says. Still, he thinks the results are likely to be contentious because microdosing enthusiasts may not be convinced by findings that go around their own experiences. So yeah, hippy-dippy shit. People get this clarity and they know it exists because they've just reached a level of meditation you can reach by just like tricking your mind.
Yeah.
So like, obviously, if you think you took mushrooms again, you're going to get your mind in that meditation zone. So like that, until the UFC legalizes mushrooms, you're not going to catch me in the octagon.
You're not gonna catch me slipping.
But they're working on it. Like,
Yeah.
listen to Shroom T and UFC, Stoned UFC. Not only do they pass the cannabis, they're also doing brain plasticity studies that psilocybin is good for brain recovery. So Aljamain, give that guy a bunch of mushrooms, get him back in the ring to rematch Peter Yan ASAP. But yeah, pretty crazy shit. But do you think people want to hear about the psychedelic patents, Todd?
Probably not.
Probably not. No,
I don't
I'll
know.
give them to him. I'll give them to him still, of course. Because
What was patent? Explain what does that mean, Jay?
so a patent is basically a patent is the same thing as a copyright, except instead of expiring in 150 years, it expires in 20 years.
Oh.
So like,
I
you
didn't
know, if all of you YouTubers should know, copyright infringement, basically if you have someone else's song you monetize the video, they can shut down your video and take all that money to pay the other people. Royal motherfucking tease. So that's how patents work. If you have a
Patents
patent,
only last 20 years, though?
yeah, and then you have to put in a new patent that's slightly altered. So
Oh.
if you have a patent already, you kind of like work the process and realize like, oh, here's an extra molecule I can add. Instead of fentanyl, let's make carfentanil. Instead of heroin, let's make morphine. Instead of morphine, let's make oxycontin. Instead of oxycontin, let's make droxys.
Yeah,
like,
but can't people just keep making those old stuff?
yeah, people can keep making the old stuff, but
Why would
you've
anyone
got
buy
better.
your new stuff?
You're a step ahead and got better marketing and like,
You got better marketing. It's
yeah,
marketing,
exactly.
Isn't it? That's what it all
Yeah,
comes down
for the
to.
most part. Yeah, product placement, price. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Like maybe you're paying the doctor off to give people Roxys instead of
Yeah,
Oxys,
yeah,
or like Oxys are no longer available. The only thing you can take is Roxys.
Yeah.
So like it's just a switch up, and you let other people sell the other stuff. But this doctor already has a relationship with you. He's loyal to you. He's been paid checks from you before, so he's more likely to do what you say. Because you can get a bigger cut because you can charge a higher profit because you have a patent.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
we should interview one of these doctors.
That's the lesson on
patents. Can we do that? Do you think we could talk to the production guy, get this done?
Probably. The only thing is, now that doctors are allowed to take psychedelics, like cancel culture has really made it tough for us to get any interviews. Everyone wants to be anonymous. Like, everyone wants to join the pod.
Yeah.
Whenever we DM them, we get a reply from a burner account, like on Signal. And yeah, they're like, the FBI is probably going to crack this encryption soon, so I don't want to say too much, but I got your message and I can't join your pod. So that's basically all we get. But yeah, so Philip Morris and DMT vape pens. Philip Morris patents aren't really patents for DMT vape pens. Their patents are applications on various types of e-cigarettes and mechanisms within the e-cigarettes, and DMT and 5-MeO DMT are included in the list of medicaments that could be used in these e-cigarettes. So basically, DMT jewels are only available through if Philip Morris gets a profit. And then psychedelics for food allergies. Food allergies are incredibly complex. There's no current research on psychedelics for food allergies, but there is a public patent application making claims on psychedelics' ability to treat food allergies. And then psychedelics for weight loss. Neon Mind's patent pending applications include a wide variety of psychedelic compounds, including psilocybin, DMT, and LSD, for treatments including weight loss, obesity, reduction of food cravings, and decreasing food intake. This isn't the first psychedelic patent application we've seen for weight loss. Generally, whoever files a patent application first has priority, which is crazy. Like, I can give you a tip for weight loss: smoke more weed. Like, whenever you're hungry and you're stoned, just smoke more weed and you won't eat.
Yeah.
Like the come down is what gets you hungry because you're getting ready for bed.
That's
and your
good
brain's shut off and you're like, give me the carbs.
Don't eat food at all.
Yeah, that works too. Just don't eat.
Drink water.
Or
drink more water.
Jack off instead of have a meal. Or
eat your own semen.
Do some other sort of serotonin release.
Eat only babies.
Snort cocaine.
You don't have a lot of babies available to you, so you'll eat less.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a plant-based diet or a model diet. If you just eat one grape, eventually you'll get used to it, and that'll give you the serotonin you need.
If you eat yourself, you will lose weight.
Yeah, steroids. But yeah, so psychedelics for hair loss and periodontal disease. These applications are not directly for the treatment of hair loss or tooth loss with psychedelics, but include psychedelics within the range.
They just help you deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You come to terms with losing your hair.
It's actually hair loss patent is about treating the traction of alopecia with compounds that have a specific kind of biological interaction with the scalp and includes DMT as one potential compound.
So it's made up.
Yeah, 100%. It's just an excuse to give people DMT. It's an ethical way to give people DMT in a study about hair loss. The people that were given DMT didn't care that they lost their hair. But the people that were given Rogaine looked like fucking idiots. Ended up killing themselves later.
That's awesome.
Yeah. An LSD disruptor. So this is the wackest shit ever. Usually when a person takes LSD, they commit to an experience of at least 6 to 12 hours. What if you could stop it early? That's what psychedelic company MindMed is trying to patent with its application for an LSD neutralizer, a compound called
Ooh.
ketonsarin.
That sounds suspicious.
Yeah, MindMeding is investigating whether or not ketonsarin could be used after a person has already taken LSD in order to shorten or end the trip. And then lastly, a personalized psychedelic scent bubble. This ethereal patent application is for a device that creates and maintains a personalized bubble of scent. While the scent bubble could also be used for perfume, the application writes that other liquids could be dispensed, including LSD and psilocybin medicines. Also on the list, human pheromones, insect repellents, anti-cellulite liquid, and vitamin-enhanced liquid. Like, I fucking hate lawyers. And I hate any politician that supports these fucking intellectual property laws increasing.
Yeah.
Like, this is why insulin costs $700,000
Yeah.
because it's not profitable to sell insulin
And lawyers
because
are
of all these
useless.
other patents.
Yeah.
Yeah, lawyers are good at making money for themselves. And that
Yeah.
means you've got to make your clients a lot of profit because you only get paid like 20%.
You're a piece of
Unless you're a
shit.
really good lawyer. Yeah, and the more money you make your client, the bigger a percent you can get. That's the other thing. It's like a tier system. And yeah, they've made fucking, oh man, don't get me started on lawyers. They made Ontario auto insurance go insane. Privatized insurance is fucked up because of lawyers in Canada that don't get kept in check.
Yeah, let's kill him.
Yeah, if I could give anyone the guillotine, it would be every lawyer I've ever met.
Yeah, I'm in.
Even the fucking environmental ones, like fucking Marshall on How I Met Your Mother. Like, they're just fucking scamming the non-for-profits. They're probably
Burn their
taking a
houses
cut. They're probably taking a healthy cut. Would be kind of cool if we could burn their houses down without getting caught, though. Like that police officer who was a arsonist.
I know where they live. I'm gonna do it tonight.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
Start with their door and then their windows. Like, that's the best way. If you're ever going to burn a house down, that's my recommendation. One time it happened to my neighbors when I was living in Windsor. There was like this group of like fucking international
They
students.
burned someone's house down?
Yeah. So this
That's crazy.
racist ass skinhead down the road was like upset
Asking
that some
for it.
international students that were like from Caribbean countries who had dark skin were moved into a house beside. So we were like in between this racist ass dude and this other guy. And I don't know what was going on. If he like I think he said something racist to them while they were chilling on their porch.
Yeah.
Because we used to chill on the porch beside them. And I'd smoke weed on the porch and listen to music. And these guys were like not chill compared to me.
Yeah.
They just didn't have like curtains on their porch or whatever.
Yeah.
So dude says some racist ass shit. They don't want to put up with it. So they talk back. Dude takes his kid home, comes back later that night, sets these guys' doors on fire.
Yeah.
And we notice because we live next door.
Right.
And I think,
So
I don't
you
know
beat
if
him
we
up?
ran over and let him know or if these guys let him know, but he basically, he had the side door gassed up. He had the front door gassed up and fucking was starting to set it on fire. These guys knew better, came and put it out and shit. But they fucking chased, one guy came with a samurai sword and chased this motherfucker down the street to his house. And then the cops came. It was really fucked up situation.
Did you talk to the cops?
But they couldn't prove it was the guy.
Did you rat?
Because no one saw the guy.
Did you
do it.
rat to the police?
No,
one saw
I don't
it?
never
You
talk to
didn't
police.
see it?
I wasn't even there. My neighbors were my roommates had told
How
me
did
about
no one
this.
see it? How does anyone even know he was
Like,
putting
people
gasoline
saw
in
the
there?
guy, but no one like got a cell phone video of him doing it. So
You
it's
need a
like
cell
there's no
phone video?
evidence.
There was people looking and watching him do it.
Yeah, but
That sounds
also
like
those
good
people
enough for
lived at the
me.
house though, so they had a bias, and
They
they're
had a
black. So
bias.
so
I
Windsor
was
cops were
just
probably
sitting.
gonna beat
I
them
was just
up,
in my house,
dude.
and
So
people were burning it down.
but
Oh, did you take a video of them burning your house down? Did you?
yeah,
Did you?
this is how Windsor cops treat black people and students.
Yeah,
So like
straight up.
we were also one night at Crazy Horse, and it was a bunch of us white guys because that's all Chatham has that makes it out. Because Chatham's
Yeah.
pretty racist,
Yeah.
teachers, and institutionalized racism.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bunch of white boys fucking getting drunk in the dorms, some dorm feuds, some dorm rivalries, going to Crazy Horse, the country karaoke bar, hitting the Jaeger bombs, bump into some fucking enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Some shit starts going down in the club, like grabbing collars, fucking roughing guys up, hockey style fights. Because some good old Canadian boys were like trying to jersey each other and like get them to the ground, show them some wrestling, maybe a couple uppercuts.
Why are you fighting?
All hooks, no jabs, just because these guys were not friends with these other guys. And I think it had something to do with the chick.
Okay.
That it all started with. But yeah, so basically dorm feuds going down. Group of guys got in a scrap with these other group of guys. All of us get tossed out. These other guys get tossed out first.
Easily.
The security guards kind of keep us around a bit longer and send us the other way. They're like, because the cops are waiting outside. So like, just because that's how downtown Windsor is. Cops are always there. So we decide like, fuck this. We're going to go back and fucking do some fun of the fucking tokes instead of going to the casino and drinking pop and betting more money on shit. So we go down the alley. We're all pumped up. We're like taking garbage bags and throwing them. We're like yelling into these parking garages because that's what's downtown Windsor. We're just getting each other fired up. Then when we get out of the alley, we're on the main fucking street. We see the guys from the club that we got into a scrap with. And fucking right away, this dude, Anthony, runs out into the street, meets with this other guy. I think these are the two that had like the girl problem. And a scrap diggity goes down. So Anthony tackles this guy, fucking starts feeding him shots. This other guy's not totally out of it though. So like he's doing all right from the bottom, keeping himself safe. And immediately cops rush in, fucking pounce on these two, beat them up a little, throw them in the car. So we're down one guy at this point. They're down one guy. Next, we keep walking down the road. We see these motherfuckers again. We start chirping them. They start chirping us. One of the dudes runs away. So then it's 2-on-1. It's 3-on-2, but there's two guys scrapping, and me and my buddy are just like fucking pushing a dude around. Like, you want to fight both of us? Just fuck off, buddy.
Yeah.
So cops come up again. They grab us. They throw another buddy in the car, and they're like, you two better get the fuck home. If I see you guys again, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face.
Yeah.
I don't care about jail. That's what the cop said to us. And like, we're me and my buddy, two guys that were 150 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
At best.
Just the biggest bitches.
Just fucking pussies. Two fucking Trevors. Corey Trevor. They picked up the Corys and the Ricky and Julian and Bubbles. All those guys are in the squad car. And we're just Corey two fucking Trevors.
Picking on Jacob.
Yeah, exactly. Jacob and Trevor. That was basically it. We're Jacob and Trevor there. And we were picking on Corey. We're like, get out of here, Corey. You're going to fight us both, Corey?
Yeah.
Or Corey was the guy that ran away. However you want to frame it.
It's hard to say.
So yeah, we didn't get caught up in a tussle again. But man, these other guys got curfews.
Tell a story about racism.
No, just saying the cops
Windsor
fucking
cops.
hated students.
Oh.
And hated
I
black
would
people
too.
even more.
Oh yeah. Don't have any
If
of
you're a
those stories
student
though.
and if you're a
Not
student
black.
and black, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not black, so I can't like I just have like friends and
Don't have any of
roommates.
those stories.
Like I only have secondhand experiences.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully
It's like secondhand smoke. You only get hurt sometimes.
yeah, exactly. You only get placebo hurt.
Yeah. You only feel bad.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that happened.
Yeah,
Damn.
exactly. You're like affected but not crazy infected.
Yeah. You're
But yeah,
coughing, not hacking up death.
yeah, exactly. You're like getting beat up for being at the protests, not for just being alive.
Not for buying milk and getting eggs.
Yeah, yeah. You're getting like
Yeah.
beat up by the cops and thrown in the car instead of getting shot.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, half dozen of one or two of the other. Like definitely black people have it 10, 15 times worse, but these cops have zero values and morals, and at least
Yeah.
the ones that were sent out at night in Windsor. The daytime cops, probably good dudes. I know some cops that are good dudes.
I don't. They're all
Yeah.
bad.
How many cops do you even know?
Enough.
I've drank with enough cops to know that they're good dudes.
The only cop I've ever met was trying to give me a ticket. It wasn't cool.
You didn't even want a drink of my liquor.
He didn't actually give me a ticket. He left without giving it to me. But I'm still mad that he bothered me.
Yeah, exactly. And he wouldn't even take a hit off my joint or a sip off my beer.
Yeah. Lame square.
But yeah, no, there's definitely cops have to do a certain thing on duty that I can't get behind.
What's that? Stop and kiss.
The power dynamic, the psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Like
Where you
it's,
gotta,
I have an
like,
ethical
mind fuck
issue.
them.
I have an ethical issue with doing that as a government foot soldier and for laws that I don't agree with.
Yeah. I just wouldn't.
So,
I wonder
yeah.
how that would go. I just wouldn't do it.
You
I
basically
would
get
just do
bullied.
whatever I wanted to do.
They'd call you soft. They'd insult you.
Yeah.
Because they have to do it, and their
Yeah.
conscience hurts, so they don't want anyone else being
I'd call
holier
them
than thou.
soft.
Yeah, yeah, and then you'd get beat up. That so basically, once Todd learns jujitsu, he's gonna become a cop, a good cop. He's gonna be beating up all the bad cops.
Yeah. After this show, I don't think I could ever be a cop.
Legally.
Yeah. They'd be like, this guy's unstable.
Yeah. As soon as they do the background check,
Yeah.
they'll be like, no way this guy can ever be a cop.
Said he was gonna murder a bunch of politicians.
We can't give this guy a fucking gun. There's no way he's gonna stick up for the patents. There's no way he's gonna help serve an eviction notice for these rich ass landlords.
Yeah. No non-Muslim has a beard that big.
He must be a Uyghur.
He must be a Uyghur.
There's no way the CCP is going to pay that guy's salary if they find out we hired a Uyghur.
Oh, yeah.
How is he going to evict people so that CCP can seize their property? But yeah, basically that's what I think is going to happen. Eventually, things will get so bad that the interest rates are going to get forced up by the Chinese government. So everyone's homes will get foreclosed on and they can buy up all the property in these other countries.
I think we're just gonna go to war with China.
No, we're past the point of war, Todd. Ever since nukes have existed and US dropped them, they know other countries are crazy enough to do it to them.
Yeah, we got bigger ones though.
And like
our ones though can shoot. We can shoot theirs down in the sky.
Basically, when the space hotel happens, that's when the nukes are coming. 2027. Yeah. Once the Clintons are the Bush families in space on a trip, then nukes are going down.
Launch the nukes.
Yeah, exactly. And Xi Jinping's there too, and Putin too, maybe. It's gonna be a free for all with the e-nukes or whatever's the next thing.
E-nukes.
Yeah, where they just nuke everyone's brain because we're all connected to Neuralink.
Fake nukes.
They're just gonna connect us all to Neuralink and then shut our brains off.
Yeah, man.
Like
I think we're
that'll
just
be
gonna
the
build AI one day. I was thinking the other day, everyone's always afraid of like AI a whole bunch, but it's like,
yeah.
what if the AI man is just like super smart and figures it out, you know? And it's just like super nice and it figures out how to be peaceful and like a
Yeah.
perfect
Here's what I
plan, you
think. Are
know?
you scared of children?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
scared of the next generation?
yeah. I am.
Then you probably should be scared of AI. But there's not like if you compare the baby boomers to Gen Z, that's like going to be AI versus human. Like it's not
Yeah,
going to be that far off.
yeah.
It'll just be a ripple effect of the worst traits and the best traits.
Oh yeah, man. I don't
So
know.
we
We'll see.
better hope the most ethical people on the planet are working on
We'll see.
fucking AI. And I don't trust that Elon Musk is the most ethical person on the planet.
No, man. He wants to
Furthest
genocide
from it.
the Chinese. I
Even if
know
he
it.
doesn't, he calls people pedos. He's hyping up crypto.
Yeah,
He's
man.
fucking,
He's a Nazi.
he's the most, or he's just a shady capitalist. Like he converts all of his stuff to Bitcoin and now he's hyping crypto. He says, get my shares up to 420 or I'm going to privatize.
Yeah.
Like he's the biggest fucking manipulator ever. Like,
Oh
why
yeah.
is the SEC not cracking down on all this dog coin hype?
All this
Because
Elon shit.
he's a government
You
shill.
chill.
How could you
Chill.
take out your own guy?
Chill.
But yeah,
It
I don't
is what
know.
it is. We'll do
We'll
another
see.
epi on it. I
If
gotta
they
get
if
going.
anything, I think Jeff Bezos left Amazon to become the CEO of Tesla.
You think so?
Yeah. But last couple of headlines since some people might have tuned in for this. Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey has listed his first ever tweet for sale with bids reaching 2.5 million for his non-fungible token, a unique digital certificate that states who owns a photo, video, or other form of online media. But the post will remain publicly available on Twitter even after it is auctioned off. So basically, people are treating this like a signed baseball card.
What does
That's
that
what they
mean?
think. These NFTs, non-fungible tokens, is just like a certificate that says like you own the code behind Jack Dorsey's tweet. So it's just like you bought a patent.
So it's dumb.
And
It's fake.
now
It's
you can
dumb.
trade it.
It's like a dumb fake thing.
Yeah, you bought an expired patent and you can trade it. But meanwhile, anyone else could
It's
do the
like
same tweet or
it's
retweet his tweet.
it's like
It's like the
Jack
digital art thing.
Dorsey's Canadian Tire money, but just for like
Yeah,
himself.
yeah, exactly. It's Canadian Tire money.
Yeah.
So all these crypto coin scams that were like, send us your Bitcoin and you get X number of this coin back.
Yeah.
That's what non-fungible tokens are. Pay us X amount of money and you get this piece of paper that says you own Jack Dorsey's tweet that he controls completely.
Yeah.
And then,
Um,
so that's non-fungible tokens in a nutshell. Listen to Tim Dillon's show if you want to hear more about Lindsay Lohan's NFT. I haven't yet, but that's one of the topics on it.
crazy.
And then, lastly, for the goddamn motherfuckers who stuck around this long, massive space hurricane was discovered swirling around the North Pole. So, a group of scientists from China's Shandong University,
Not a real place.
yeah, research stuff from 2014, and researchers in China, UK, US, and Norway discovered the space hurricane by piecing together satellite data from 2014. So it happened in August, lasted for about 8 hours. Scientists only discovered it by looking back at satellite observations. The storm measured over 1,000 kilometers wide, had several spiral arms, and swirled in a counterclockwise direction and rained electrons down on Earth. Until now, it was uncertain that space plasma hurricanes even existed. So to prove this with such a striking observation is incredible. Research Mike Lockwood said in a news release from Reading University in UK. So it's a crazy thing. It looks like a cross between a hurricane and aurora borealis, or similar like a gigantic blast of green energy. Storm happened hundreds of kilometers above the North Pole in the Earth's ionosphere, scientists say. The ionosphere is a layer filled with charged particles between the Earth's atmosphere and space. It protects the planet from some of the more harmful energies from the sun. It also home to many satellites and often bears the brunt of solar weather patterns. So the discovery is expected to shed more light on the way space weather works and how it affects planets like our own and other worlds nearby. Plasma and magnetic fields in the atmosphere of planets exist throughout the universe, Lockwood said. So the findings suggest space hurricanes should be a widespread phenomenon.
Nice.
So pretty crazy shit.
Sounds crazy.
But cool
as
ass
fuck.
shit.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. That's I think everything we wanted to share with folks today. So
And that's a Rap Drugs Pod.
yeah, motherfucker. So if you wanted to hear something else or you want us to do something else, give us a comment.
Yeah.
Throw a like on there.
What do you want
Throw
us
a
to
dislike
do?
if you don't like us. We want to fight the algos.
Tell us what to do.
Yeah, or if you're a pussy bum, just send us a text or an email. That's also down below. And like we said at the top, sub to IG, sub to Twitter, sub to YouTube, smoke some weed, paypal.me/rapdrugs if you want to hook up the homeless, or give back to the pod. Shoot us a message, which you want to do. And if you'd rather have some merch, teesprings.com/stores/rapdrugs. New merch coming soon.
Nice.
And give us a damn 5-star on Apple